back on Josie. This video is actually kind of like the second part from this first video I made about fear and how our emotions can cause illnesses. And it's a very interesting subject. And again, I'm gonna try to do that one in English, the one about fear. But today we're gonna be talking about anger and the diseases that can be caused by anger. And all this information that I got is from the book You Can Heal Your Life. She sold over 30 million copies. Her name is Louise L, and it's fantastic. I totally recommend it. So let's get started. I'm gonna try to do all this in 15 minutes. So diseases that are caused by anger. Other names of anger: rage, indignation, malice, pissed off, fury, disgust, irritation, spite, evil, upset, madness. What is anger? Anger is called the unpleasant feeling that we experience when we feel upset or run over by the words, actions, or attitudes of others. The word as such is derived from the word anger, which comes from the vulgar Latin inodiare, which means to anger. Anger in general biases us against another person or against a specific situation that has become unpleasant or unfair. In this sense, the causes of anger can be both external and internal. They are external when they are related to situations that occur around us, such as an impasse with another person, a lack of respect, an attitude of disobedience, a misunderstanding or a mistake. And internal when we experience them within ourselves, such as personal problems, unresolved past situations, or unpleasant memories of traumatic events, which when they return to memory, they awaken feelings of anger. So that's very interesting. The risk of the disease, in this case anger. Anger increases the activation of the sympathetic system, the one in charge of releasing hormones called catecholamines. I think I'm saying it right, I hope. One of the hormones related to stress, which are those that directly affect the cardiovascular system, rising the heart rate, blood pressure, and increasing the probability of thrombi from in the body of our myocardial infarction, and that can occur. So it's very dangerous. Anger in psychology. From the point of view of psychology, anger can manifest itself with various levels of intensity, depending on the severity of the motives that triggers it. Hence, an anger can be expressed with a mild verbal warning or with unusual fury that can even become dangerous if the person suffering from it does not know how to handle it. That's why the jails are full of people that committed crimes out of rage or anger, right? As such, we experience a feeling of anger, and it is accompanied by changes on a psychological and biological level. That is, parameters such as our heart rate or blood pressure increases, as well as the level of secretion in certain hormones such as adrenaline and norepinephrine. Sorry about my English, but I'm trying. Anger in the Bible, just one scripture that I wanted to come out. I'll show you guys, and it's James and the New Testament, where it says, "For this reason, my beloved brothers, all of you must be willing to listen, willing to be slow to speak and to get angry, because whoever gets angry does not promote God's justice." That's interesting. Types of anger. Well, we have number one, aggressive, destructive. If you are in a situation where you feel intimidated or need to have control over another person, then you can express your aggressive anger. Temper, berrinches. In Spanish is berrinches. Annoyance, and the one that's justifiable. Well, I think I'm saying it right. Now we're gonna be talking about some diseases that I pull out of the book, but there can be way many more. But I got 69 diseases that are caused by anger, rage, or pretty much angry. Yeah, when you're angry and when you're upset, that's the word that I was looking for. So the first one that we have, believe it or not, you guys, is Alzheimer's disease. I'm gonna say the name of the sickness first, and then the meaning or what can cause us. In this case, we're talking about anger, no? Alzheimer's disease can be the refusal to deal with the world as I am, hopelessness and helplessness, anger, anorectal bleeding, strange and frustration. That word, she mentions that a lot in this case, in the anger. Annus, abscess, anger in relation to what you do not want to let go. Arteriosclerosis, resistant tension, narrow mind, hardened, refusing to see the good. Atlas foot, frustration at not being accepted, inability to move forward easily, bad breath, thoughts of anger and revenge, experience recede. Bell's palsy, extreme control over anger, lack of will to express feelings. Animal bites, anger towards inward, a need for punishment. Blackheads, little outbursts of anger. You got a lot of blackheads, gotta let that go. Bleeding, joy running, anger, but where? Blisters, resistance, lack of emotional protection. Boils, anger, boiled, boiling. Bronchitis, inflamed family environment, arguments and screams, sometimes in silence. Bruises, the little bumps of life, self-punishment. Burns, anger, burning up, indignant. Inteligente. Wow, very interesting. Bursitis, suppressed anger, wanted to hit someone. Cancer, listen to this, you guys. Cancer is deep pain, long-standing resentment, deep secret of pain, nagging at the self, carrying hatred. Cancer. And she asked, what is the use? That's amazing. Cancer, carrying hatred. Candida or yeast infections, feeling very scattered, much frustration and anger, demanding and distrustful in relationships. Carbuncle or boils, poisonous anger at personal injustice. Carpal tunnel syndrome, I got a lot of clients with that. Anger and frustration at the seeming injustice of life. Cellulitis, stored anger and self-punishment. Cold sores or fever blisters, festering words and fear of expressing them. Conjunctivitis, anger and frustration at what you are looking for in life. Cuts or wounds, punishment for not following your own rules. Deafness, rejection, stubbornness, isolation. Why don't you want to listen? Don't bother me. Interesting. Depression, anger that you feel when you have no right to have, and despair. Dry eyes, angry eyes, refusing to see with love. I'd rather die than forgive. Hold a grudge. Dysmenorrhea, anger with itself. I hate the body of the woman. Earaches, anger, not wanting to listen, too much confusion. Parents arguing in the case of a child. Eczema, listen to this. Impressive antagonism, mental eruptions. Forearms, anger at being denied love. Fat belly, anger at being denied food. Fever, anger, lots of anger. Burning up, interesting. Fingers, especially the middle. Especially the middle one. It represents anger and sexuality. Hepatitis or liver problems, resistance to change, fear, anger, hate. The liver is the seat of anger and rage. So interesting. Hurt Erotism, anger that covers itself. The use of the blanket is usually scary. A desire to blame. There is often an unwillingness to nurture yourself. Hypothyroidism, anger at being left out. Infections. There's a lot of infections and like inflammations when it comes to anger, which is kind of like the opposite of fear, though, the video that I did. So infections is irritation, anger, annoyance. Injuries, anger at yourself, feeling guilty. Itis, inflammation, like I was saying, anger and frustration at the conditions you are seeing in your life. Jaw problems, TMJ syndrome, anger, resentment, desire for revenge. Keratitis, extreme anger, a desire to hit those or what you see. Kidney stone, unresolved anger lumps. Liver, again, seed of anger and primitive emotions. Lockjaw, anger, a desire to control, refusal to express yourself. This is so interesting, you guys. Refusal to express feelings. Lupus, a neglect. Better to die than fend for yourself. Anger and punishment. Mastoiditis, I think I'm saying it right. Anger and frustration, a desire not to hear what is happening, generally in children. Fear of infecting the understanding. Mononucleosis, Alzheimer's disease or glandular fever. Anger and not receiving love and appreciation. You no longer care about yourself. Muscles, resistance to new experiences. Muscles represent the ability to move in life. Neck problems, refusing to see the other side of a question. Stubbornness, inflexibility. Osteomyelitis, anger and frustration at the very fabric of life, feeling unsupported. Pain, guilt, always looking for punishment. Phlebitis, anger and frustration, blaming others for limitation and lack of joy in life. Pink eye, this is like so amazing, you guys. Anger and frustration without wanting to see. Plantar wart, anger at the very base of your understanding, sowing frustration about the future. Pyorrhea or peridionitis, anger at the inability to make decisions, desirous people. Rabies, angry, they believe that violence is the answer. Sinus problems, irritation to a person, someone close. Snoring, stubbornness, refusal to leave old patterns behind. Sore throat, holding angry words, feeling unable to express yourself. Sores, unexpressed anger that settles. Spinal meningitis, inflamed thinking and rage of life. Sprains, anger and resistance, not wanting to move in a certain direction in life. Stiffness, rigid thinking. Suicide, refusal to see another way out. Tinnitus, refusal to listen without listening to the inner voice. Stubbornness, uritis, I think I'm saying it right, I'm sorry. Emotions to rage, being pissed off. Guilt, vaginitis, anger with the partner, sexual guilt, punish the self. Wow. So those are the illnesses. And then, well, I have a little last final thought where I say diseases can be cured if you're willing to change the way you think and believe and act. Do not repress the anger, but breathe, let it go. Scream if you want to scream, but let it go, let it out. And repeat these words: in the infinity of life where I am, everything is perfect, whole, and complete. I recognize my body as a good friend. Every cell in my body has divine intelligence. I listen to what you tell me, and I know your advice is valid. I am always safe and divinely protected and guided. I choose to be healthy and free. Everything is fine in my world. Thank you for being here with La Verdad con Josie, and I see you guys next time. God bless you and take care. Don't be angry. It's not worth it. Bye. Thank you.